Hello, back again. We are live. I've had a couple really rough weeks this week with trying to just get everything together. We actually had a pew pew happen right out here in front of my house last week, and I'm trying to put some stuff together for that for y'all. But I wanted to come over here and kind of look and see where we're at with the Mickey Stines case. Um, so, according to the Mountain Eagle, the grand jury is expected to consider the Stines case. A grand jury could hear the Red Rum case of former Sheriff Sean Mickey Stines as early as next week. So, that would be this week that we're in now. Stines, who was caught on security video as he pew-pewed an unalived District Judge Kevin Mullins in his chambers on September 19th, has been held without bond since his arrest the day of the pew-pew. He pleaded not guilty at a preliminary hearing on October 1st. According to court schedules, the next date a grand jury is due to sit in Letcher County is November 7th. So that's today. But it could conceivably meet as late as November 30th. Under Kentucky law, the state has 60 days from that date to return an indictment. And attorneys say that must be done in the county where the crime occurred. So, Letcher County grand jury will hear this case. So far, no additional filings have been made in the case. Kentucky State Police impounded the Sheriff's Department pickup truck that Stines drove, but it is not clear what they're looking for. A search warrant had not been returned in the case. And I wanted to look at this because I found this really interesting. Good morning, love bug. Sorry, Miss Laughing Lori, a pew pew. We have to say certain things for YouTube to not cancel us out. So it's just what happened. That's okay. But I found this article very interesting. This is, let me share this one. This was August the 14th. So that happened with Stines and the judge on September 19th. Okay. So keep that in mind. The last day of August will mark the last day of Letcher County Jailer Bert Slone's 30-year career in law enforcement. Sloane, in his second term as jailer, will retire just short of 2 years into his term. It's been 30 years and 4 months, and it's just time to retire, he said. Slone grew up in Knott and Floyd counties. Now, he was the Letcher County Jailer, but got his first job as deputy sheriff in Letcher County under then Sheriff Steve Banks. He's worked for short periods for the Jenkins Police Department and Fleming Neon Police Department, and for a year at the Knott County Sheriff's Department. The rest has been spent in Letcher County. Slone worked as a court bailiff, a road deputy, and a school resource officer here, and retired from Letcher County Sheriff's Department just before filing papers to run for jailer. So he was at the Sheriff's Department, and he worked under Danny Webb. It seems like we've had a lot of stuff since first taking over, and now there's been a lot going on, and the COVID sure didn't help, he said. That was a crazy time. Slone was 23 when he started working for the Sheriff's Department in 1994 and will retire just before his 54th birthday. He said there have been many changes in regulations and in the people who end up in jail since he started. There's a lot of people who are there because of rugs, and once you get them off rugs in jail, they're actually pretty good people, he said. When they're on rugs is what makes them a different person. The increase in meth use, he said, has caused issues with mental health, and it is wearing out people's bodies. What we're seeing now with people coming in, it's changing their whole mind, he said. The medical issues people have and the mental issues people have, it's just terrible. A lot of people aren't coming back from these road trips that they're on, and I don't know if they'll ever come back. The substances that people are using today, a lot of it's the math that we see. It's doing whatever is in that. It's doing damage to people so badly that even once they stop using, the damage doesn't go away. They're permanently damaged. So I don't know what's in this stuff, but it's really, really bad. Those medical issues and overcrowding have caused massive financial problems for the jail since Slone has been in office. The county pays his deputies very little, but over time, because of turnover and transporting inmates to the doctor has been a problem. Slone has had some breathing room over the past couple of months after Mountain Comprehensive Care. That's what I was getting ready to say. They came in and put a whole bunch of money in it. MCHC began bringing its mobile clinic to the jail rather than deputies transporting prisoners to the clinic in West Whitesburg. It's still a medical expense, but it's something I appreciate them doing for us, he said. I like that they come and see them in person, and we also have the opportunity to do telehealth with them about any time they're open. Though he has known two of the former jailers well, and both have said jailer was a tough job, he said he didn't know how tough until he was elected. This is one of the toughest jobs I've had. COVID, overcrowding, medical issues, inflation, changes in the system that have taken place. It's just changed the face of corrections, Slone said, but added that he still wants to thank people who trusted him to do it. I do greatly appreciate the voters in giving me a chance to do the job. August 31st will be his last day in office. Letcher County Sheriff Mickey Stines will act as jailer until a replacement is named. So that means that Mickey, right before this happened with the judge, September 19th, Mickey was named as acting jailer too. So he was working as the sheriff and as acting jailer. So that must have been a tremendous amount of pressure added on top of him, on top of what all he already had. And I wanted to read this other one that I found. Okay. Let me make sure we're all good. All right. Okay. So this was May 17th of last year. Says county, state devoid of justice. And this is a letter to the editor of the Mountain Eagle newspaper. How do you find justice in a county and state totally devoid of justice? Letcher County, Kentucky. Everyone knows my pet peeve is that sludge pond at the landfill that broke and wiped out 52 of my neighbors on Millstone. For 10 years, I begged the Letcher County Fiscal Court to remove it, or at least lower it to a sane level. What did they do? They took out the drain pipe and let the waters rise another 10 feet and flow over the top of the dam. The idiots tried to dam it back after it broke so it would break and flood us again. I went to Jamie Hatton, our county attorney, and asked for a restraining order to stop it. His exact words were, "This office will never do anything for you. Get out of my building. I own this building, and I'll have you arrested for trespassing." That was our county attorney. How is a person to get justice if he can't use a public office? I wonder if the county pays him rent for the use of that building. I called reclamation 5 times and they told me various lies. One saw how dangerous it was and said he'd get right on it. The next said that it was an illegal dam, not permitted, so there was nothing that they could do. One inspector said it was only 2 feet deep when you could see 10 feet of clear water. I measured it and it was 14.7 feet with 22 feet of soft silt. It all went down the river, killing all of the fish and blackening the river for 5 days. I had seen our then state representative, Angie Hatton, who is the sister to Jamie Hatton, the county attorney, and she became state representative for a while. So I had seen our then state representative, Angie Hatton, twice, but both times she refused to talk to me, he said. I called the State Division of Water, and they did nothing. I went to see U.S. Representative Hal Rogers, but he wouldn't see me. But I talked to his people on 3 occasions, and finally they said there was nothing they could do. All these aforementioned people are as worthless as tits on a boar hog. I tried to see the governor at MCHC, but they wouldn't let me in, so I waited at the door. Finally, they came out and told me that they had sneaked him out the back door. You'd think I had leprosy or something. Finally, the governor came to Crafts Collie to brag on himself and for a photo op. I listened to his BS speech and approached him as he was walking to his car. I had them blocked in, so he had to talk to me. I asked him for 30 seconds of his time, and he politely brushed me off and told me to talk to his secretary. I tailed him like a shadow until he took my information. He acted real interested and promised to get right back to me. After I moved my Jeep and let them out, I never heard from any of them, lying SOBs. To add insult to injury, a convicted red rummer and known rug reeler smashed one of Jenkins High School band's trailers. A neighbor called me and I ran him away and recovered what was left of the trailer. My daughter, who was Jenkins' band director, went to Jamie Hatton's office to get a warrant, and they refused because she was my daughter. Then he issued a warrant for me for assaulting this felon, who, might I add, never spent a day in prison for unaliving a man. District Judge Kevin Mullins just threw it out of court when he found out who swore out the warrant. Anyone who knows me would know that if I assaulted him, he wouldn't be able to get a warrant for anyone. But he moved away, so we're rid of another ruggie. So, there is no justice in this state. I feel sorry for Sheriff Mickey Stines. He arrests all these ruggies and they're back home before he is. That's true. I recently read in the Mountain Eagle that some guy was arrested for all the typical stuff: DUI, possession, no tags, no insurance, speeding, resisting, third-time felony offender, etc. But what caught my eye was that he had jumped bail 3 times, and they let him go on his own recognizance. Did they actually think he'd show up for trial? Wyatt Earp once said, "The law is 6 rounds in the pew-pew. Justice is the one lying under the hammer." We have rid ourselves of the Hatton clan and dearly need to get rid of the rest. Well, the only way that I see we've rid ourselves of the Hatton clan is that Angie Hatton was voted out of office. But Jamie Hatton is still right there. which is also the one who I've said 100 times is the one who recommended special sentencing recommendation for the Patrick Little case of messing with 2 children. Yeah, that's the same county attorney. All right. I'm sure any lawyer in the county could beat Jamie Hatton, but no one runs against him. I don't understand why. You draw a fat salary to attend 1 meeting a month, and in his case, nothing else. And this was from Jerry Collins in Millstone. So that was very interesting. All right, y'all. This will be a short one. Let's read some comments here. We got Love Bug as usual. Thank you so much for helping. And Miss Lori, Laughing Lori, thank you for coming. Missy Lucas, hello. Julie Farrell, good morning. Done on the way in. Mod love for Love Bug. That's right. She's the best. I'm listening while I work. Came across this channel after the judge and sheriff. Yeah. I hadn't been doing any lives the last couple of weeks. Just been real busy with kids and ball games. And we had a pew pew happen out here in front of my house last week. Where I don't know if anybody watched the video with my neighbor Johnny. Well, Johnny is in a whole lot of trouble because he pew-pewed my other neighbor's family dog last week. For no reason, because she got out of her gate and went after a chicken that's been roaming the whole neighborhood for a whole year. So we're going to do a live on that because we have a whole lot of information and trying to get something done with it. Let's see. Annette Holland, I think his little brother walked in his footsteps. Yeah, from what I understood, Bert Slone's brother was named. He's jailer now. And I think he was named jailer right before the incident happened with Mickey and Judge, but that couldn't have been, light on the shoulders when it was dumped on him, for sure. They need the First Amendment audit there on Jamie Hatton. They need a lot of audits on Jamie Hatton. PDWH, you want to talk about dams? We have 1,000 dams in Kentucky, and out of those, 70 are listed as critical or below. Some are leaking. When Helene happened in North Carolina, Duke Energy released a dam too. Yep. That was awful what happened in North Carolina. North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, there was a lot of states that were just destroyed. Julie Farrell, infrastructure was made by the CCC in most cases and not touched since. Oh, our roads in this area, like you can't even drive down the road without hitting pothole after pothole after pothole. And they'll come in and they'll patch it like once every couple of years, but within the first couple of bad storms that we have, they're all dug right back out again. Tam Dam, it's crazy that those that have lots of money can get away with things that us poor people can't. Money talks. It sure does. Sure does. Hit and run red rum on my street last week of October. Shameful and sad. I'm so sorry. Prayers for sure. Prayers for sure. For everybody who needs them. All right, y'all. Well, we're going to make this a short one. I just wanted to kind of jump back on here and get my feet wet a little bit again. I kind of did some rearranging and we've got basketball hitting right now. And So we're going to try to do these lives around late morning, early afternoon. We're going to try to shoot for about 1 o'clock, but sometimes we might jump on a little bit earlier than that. But yes, if you haven't subscribed, take a minute and just subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and we're going to start doing these lives more regularly and on certain days. And so that way we'll have more of a regular show, because we want to be ready when the trial comes. We want to have everything, in place, and I know what I'm doing. So let's see. Sympathetic about the roads. I live on dirt, but they're slowly paving it. Well, good. They only use about 2 inches of blacktop. Just silly. Yes. And thank you, Love Bug. Hit that notification bell so that way you know when we're going live. And I'll try and do another one today before 3 o'clock is when I get my kids. So we're going to try to shoot for before that every day, weekday anyway. All right. And we'll do Speak Your Piece today too. All right, y'all. Well, you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you here in just a little bit, okay? Bye.